I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurrundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my June book haul, which is honestly mostly kids review books this month. So, you know, there are some adult romance titles in here, but for the most part it's kids books, which is exciting because it means I've read most of them. I'm going to start off with the books that I received for review. The first one I actually don't have here. I'm kicking myself because I took it into work and I was supposed to bring it back so I could film this video, but it is Crumbs by Phil Cummings. This is a children's picture book. It is absolutely stunning and is just one of the most beautiful, empathetic books that I've read. I actually read it to the kids and they got to the end and they were just like, it's so sad but so happy, because it's about a young girl who is watching a bird who is begging for crumbs, and then she also sees a homeless man who is begging for anything that people can spare, and she doesn't know what to do with that situation because she's so young and she doesn't know what she can do to improve that situation. But her father shows her how to demonstrate kindness and compassion to someone who doesn't have the same things that she does, and the whole thing was just glorious. The illustrations are incredible, and I was really excited when I did read it with my class because I was showing them and a couple of kids said, no, I've actually got that. One of the kids had actually bought it for someone else in the class for their birthday recently. So I was like, I'm so glad that people are picking up this book for kids because it's amazing. So that was from Scholastic, so thank you very much to them. The rest of these books, these kids' books, came from Alan and Unwin, so thank you very much to Alan and Unwin for sending them to me. I have two titles that are coming out in August. I don't normally get them this early, so that was exciting. There is Rites of Passage, Words to Read Before You Turn 13, selected by Nicolette Jones. I've had a quick flick through of this. They're literally little quotes, paragraphs, and very short passages from various texts and songs. I did notice that there is a quote from a Hamilton song in here, so you get an idea of what's in here, but there's also quotes from Winnie the Pooh and children's classics and things like that. So I'm very eager to read through this. I actually think this will be a fantastic book for teachers to have in the classroom, just to grab small passages to use for powerful writing. I will review that in August because I think it comes out at the end of August. And then also at the end of August is The House on Pleasant Street by Sophie Laguna and illustrated by Mark McBride. Sorry, that I know the glare was on that, which is a very quirkily illustrated story so far. I haven't read it yet, but it is an August release, so stay tuned. Some picture books that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. You have Fluff by Heidi McKinnon, and if you can't figure out why I requested this book to review, I don't know if you've been following me with my picture book journey for a while, have a look at this face. On the back, the blurb says, Fluff is fluffy, Fluff is very fluffy, Fluff is the fluffiest. I cannot wait to read this to my kids because they are going to lose it over this book. Next is a First Nations picture book. I hope I don't mispronounce this, but I probably will, so apologies in advance. The Champi Desert Weavers. And if you have a close look, all of the characters in this book have been woven. So it is really gorgeous. It's called Donkeys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is a dual language book. It is absolutely stunning, well worth picking up. And then finally there is Where by Jordan Collins and illustrated by Phil Lesni. This is a book that I will have a standalone review video coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it is, I think it was a slam poem that has been turned into a picture book, and it's incredible. And then finally for review copies, I received two unsolicited middle grade titles from Alan and Unwin. They're both by Anne Doe. So there is Wolf Girl 7 and also Pow Pow Pig number 3. These are middle grade titles, well, middle grade, and I think this one's junior fiction. I'm going to pick them up. I haven't read Wolf Girl in a while, so I'm hoping that I can just pick up the story. I should be able to. Finally, I picked up one picture book. Well, when I say I picked up, I pre-ordered this ages ago because it is one of the shortlisted titles for this year's CBCA awards, and that is When the Waterhole Dries Up by Kay Bailey and Max Hamilton. So it finally arrived because around this time of year all the CBCA books get reprinted because they've been nominated for awards, and it's taken a while for some of them to come. I also have acquired two more teaching reference titles. Some of you have heard me harp on about Spelling It Out by Misty Avenue. This is the first edition. I believe a second edition is coming out. This is all around the history of spelling and strategies that teachers can use to teach it effectively in the classroom. Misty Avenue is an Australian professor of language and literacy, so It's a fantastic little book and it's tiny and it has a scope and sequence in it which I need to pull out and pull apart and see how I can fit it for my school context. And along a similar line, I also have Letter Lessons and First Words, Phonic Foundations at Work by Heidi and Mesmer. This is a book that was referenced quite a bit in the presentation work that I've been doing for the Victorian Academy of Teaching and Leadership. I decided that it was probably worth me picking up a copy and starting to have a read through it, because this, tied in with spelling it out, should hopefully give a really good phonics scope and sequence and spelling scope and sequence. And that's probably going to be my major work for the next 6 to 12 months at work. And then we come in to the rest of my books. 2 of these books I received as Patreon perks for various authors. So the first one is Parties Girl, which is Girls Weekend Volume 2 by Sam Nascosta. This is a monster bait novel. It is ginormous. I don't know when I'm going to read this, but it is beautiful. It feels really nice too. So I read Parties last year because Brie recommended it. I think it was Brie. Anyway, very glad to have this. I didn't realize I was getting it through Patreon, so that was a surprise when it turned up. And I also got my copy of Wicked Beauty by Katie Robert. I ordered a physical copy of Always Practice Safe Hex by Juliet Cross because I loved this so much and I need to reread it and annotate it because I've reread and annotated all my other copies of the books in this series and I desperately want to do this one. And then I also ordered these for myself because I love them a lot. So there is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. I just had to own them. They bring me so much joy, so they had to belong on my shelves. So that is my book haul for June. In the comments, let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're planning on picking any of them up, or feel free to share something that you acquired in June that you are very excited about. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.